the ultimate.
Blazing arc. Icy edge. Frost scorpions. Miss me. Evil retreats. Cut through darkness. The measure of steel slices the world through. Split the heavens. Radiant cloud. The Exo Wong of Yunquai Summit, breaking all illusions. The line is gone.
Defying order. Suffer eternally.
Frost scorpions. What? I shoot too! Leave it to me! What the heavens? Frost Split the heavens! Pure frost! Lightning! What the heavens? Frost weapons! Light! I'll be fine! The sword follows my well and winds howl in the heavens! Radiant cloud! Frost weapons! The Qingming's might rends the heavens!
With every foe, there's an honored fear that we are playing fate. Your fate is sealed.
Cycle of yin and yang. Wanna play a game? Premium. The weak spot is here. Obliterate form and spirit. Faithful companion, heed my call. Evil shall turn to dust. If you spot an ethereal, shout for help! The verdict is unforgivable! Reverse shockwave! Cycle of yin and yang. The hunt begins! Unexpected call! Your life is here. Let's get still. Decree.
With every foe, there's an honored fear that we are playing.
You're done. It's over. I see it. Scatter. Weak It's over. Purging slash. Guess what my umbrella can turn into? Packy's here! My blade is I see it. Watch me! Victory, the only option. Too late, bummer! There's no time to lose.